Hello, welcome to the 18th Tower.
How are you?
Really well, especially since you gave us such a build-up just then.
Well, it is incredible that you're sisters, and you're both in hit show after hit show, and your dad's a genius as well. We've got loads to talk about. Firstly, you're in Full Monty at the moment, Gina, but that's already ended by the time this goes to air. So what are you going to do? We're worried about you.
I've got so many things to choose from. I'm a lucky lady. I've also just got engaged as well, so that'll keep me busy for a little while. But I'm working on a TV show that I've written with my sister, which we're hoping to get off the ground, and this will be a great opportunity for it next year, I think. And there's a couple of other things in the pipeline, musical-wise, that I want to set my sights on too.
Can you tell us anything about the TV show, or is it all top secret?
I think you'd have to hand over to my sister because she's in charge.
Oh, you're head of blame, are you? Go on, tell us a bit about it then.
No, it's top secret. But it is top secret. And to tell you the truth, by the time this goes to air, we've probably redrafted the whole thing and changed the vibe. So, but at the moment, it's just really nice experimenting writing. And when you're a performer and you're writing as well, you can kind of try it out and see if it works or not.
It's comedy.
Yeah, it's comedy, and it has it's very near the knuckle stuff. So we're probably looking at going to Edinburgh next summer rather than going straight, to a TV company with it, because it's a bit wacky and off the wall. So if you see three birds running, our friend of ours, Shelley Blonde, is going to be joining us with this particular project. If you see three birds walking through Edinburgh looking very lost, then that'll be us. Come see the show. But I left We Will Rock You 2 weeks ago and going into Boogie Nights at Derby at the Assembly Rooms with Shane Roche.
Right, let's back up a minute. Let's go back. Shelley Blonde, that can't be her real name for a start.
Yes, it is.
Is she blonde?
No. But she's very, very Jewish, so I would have thought her real name is Shalina Blochmoland. So, no, that's her real name.
Well, right, okay, we've got that out of the way. Let's talk about We Will Rock You, an amazing show that has wowed the crowds, wasn't popular with the journalists, but it didn't matter. The show on itself has sold itself. Yeah. What was it like being in it? Because it's a high-powered musical where it kind of moves and moves and moves. There's not much chance to sit down, really, is there?
No, not at all. I finished, I was doing Fame at the Cambridge Theatre, and I left on the Saturday. Somebody got fired from We Will Rock You a week before it opened, and I auditioned on the Friday, and they said, can you start tomorrow, because we open in 7 days? And I said, yeah, and I learnt it. I mean, I did very little in it, actually, and I learnt it, and we had the most incredible opening night, and Robert De Niro, and I mean, every night there was another megastar sitting in the audience, and the critics absolutely hated it. I just thought, well, they really hated Ben Elton, and were, I think, a little too harsh. Whether you like a piece or not, you don't have to personally attack somebody. But there you go. So then we did Party at the Palace for the Queen's Jubilee. I sang Another One Bites the Dust at Party in the Park, and then, I mean, it just went through the roof.
That's when it really took off, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, Sharon D. Clarke is absolutely fabulous, who actually plays the Killer Queen, but she was unavailable to do the PA that day. So Brian said, will you do it? And I was like, yeah. I'll have to think about it. So 140,000 people, the only no one on the bill, and it was just tremendous. Absolutely great.
The second time I saw it, you were playing Killer Queen, and you did it brilliantly, and apparently you weren't well that night, and nobody would have known.
I was so not well. It was just awful. It was Marge Simpson. It was just horrific. But, better now. It was very difficult because I've been in charge of doing the West End Cares Cabaret, which I had to write and produce as well, which we did that week, and it was the 1 week, and it was just such an awesome workload. But, that's it, really. It's great. I had a cigarette and got over it.
It is a compliment to your talent, because we really knew nothing about it. I mean, you were fantastic on the show. It was great. Can I talk about this animal you're wearing? What is this thing?
Do you not like my jacket?
Well, yeah, I like it, but what is it?
Shelley Blonde's father, Leon Blonde, little plug for his shop here. He is a furrier in St John's Wood.
Right.
And this was one of his creations. So please pop along to St John's Wood, and if you see a lovely man standing in the doorway, go in and get him to show you a mink coat. I do get a lot of abuse for wearing a fur coat.
Is it real fur?
I don't know, is it?
I have no idea.
Do you like real fur?
Well, no, I don't have an opinion either way, really. But, I mean, it just looks showbiz, and that's the thing about the pair of you. You are the most showbiz people in London today. It is incredible. You walk through the streets, and I'm sure you must get looked at. I mean, you're another one. What are you wearing? What's this frilly thing
around? Animal as well.
Do you know, Alex, it is very tedious now getting stared at every single day, all day long. So really I just try and avoid that by wearing very mundane clothes, like the skin-tight multicoloured jeans that I'm wearing and my corset top and a pair of Donatella Versace glasses.
I was told, actually, by a certain D-list agent that I dress like a prostitute. Which I thought was a rather thought was a compliment.
Well, I mean, that's the other alternative if acting doesn't work out, isn't it? Really?
I'd rather that than be told I dress like a labourer. I mean, personally, I just thought prostitution is a night job, it's glamorous, so be it. I always look rather sexy, be it rough, and so why not?
What is it like in your house? Mitch Murray's your dad. Now, he's one of the funniest men in show business. He's written endless books on comedy, stand-up comedy and public speaking. He's written great songs as well. What is your family like? Is it one trying to outdo each other with jokes and funny lines? I can't imagine there's much miserable time in your house.
Well, we always thought growing up, I think you did too, that this was normal. I mean, everybody has, a beetle at the door every day, and I'm not talking the insect variety. And, we just thought that was completely normal. And as we grew up, we realised that everybody else's life was not like that. And, their fathers weren't slightly unbalanced, and their mothers weren't, singing around the house all day. People didn't do that, but we didn't know that. So to us, it was terrific fun and completely normal. Now I know we're ill.
Let me talk about you singing. Was this a natural talent, or were you kind of having lessons, or how did you both become such big stars of the West End?
It's both, really. I think with genes like we had, from both parents, you're probably born with, hopefully, a natural tendency.
They are nice genes, aren't they, designer?
Oh, thank you very much. I was just going to say that. You blew my next joke. Anyway.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's all right. I'll forgive you. You got nice eyes, so that's cool. I've played every single type of part you could possibly imagine, and that's due to a really good training and also, like you said, natural talent, because Mazz and I did come from a good solid showbiz family, and we were asked at 10 and 11 what we wanted to do, and to be honest, we didn't know how to do anything else. And at 10 and 11, what do you want to be?
No, Gina was always good. She always sang like a bird, like Alice in Wonderland, and I was always absolutely useless at everything, but wanted to be her. Honestly, that is the truth, because I kind of wanted to be a nurse until my mum told me I had to wash old men's willies, and then that was the end of that, and I thought, no, that's not really for me. But Gina wanted to go to stage school. Gina was a natural singer, and she was just a gorgeous little girl, and stereotype long blonde hair and gorgeous, and I just did not have it going on. But I thought, oh, what the hell? So I think we both went to theatre school, sort of under no false illusion. I mean, we know that it's a terrible business, but I really had no brain to fall back on, so I had no other choice rather than to keep going. And Gina went and got an education. I didn't. I went in for lunch, actually, at college. And that was it. And then we went off on our way. We've done similar shows. We've done the same shows, actually, but never at the same time.
Do you want to work together? I mean, obviously, your plan next year is, as you say, to go to Edinburgh and do this TV show, but do you want to work together on stage every night? Would that put too much pressure on you?
No, I want to desperately. And it's just a question of waiting for the right project, I think, because people are nervous of employing sisters. Unless you're actually playing sisters, they think that people are going to know. If we were very, very famous, then I'm sure it would have happened by now. So that's the plan, get very, very famous and then work together.
What about jealousy? Was there any competition growing up? I mean, you said you wanted to be like her, but that isn't a bad thing. I mean, were you ever jealous of each other or jealous of each other's roles?
No. I think the only time that you ever sort of have envy as a sister is when the one gets paid more.
And you discuss that as well, really. Do you?
Oh, yeah. I'm so much... I mean, I enjoy it so much more when Gina has a great job, because I can brag about it. And when it's you have to be all sort of like, yeah, I got it, yeah. But when it's someone else, you're like, she got it, how brilliant is she? But when it's you have to be all like, yeah, whatever, I got it. And you can't go mad as much. And it's so much more enjoyable actually watching your sister, blow the socks off everybody than it is you doing it.
Something I was thinking about earlier is, how do you cope with the fact that as an actor you're on stage with people who may well be your friends, but they're people who in the future may be competing for the same roles that you're going for?
I know it sounds silly, but when you're on stage, you are the character. And me personally, I mean, you may have any number of fallouts. Some of these shows run for a year. You can't stay friends with everyone all the time. But, and some people are better at it than others, at hiding it. But I always make it an absolute precedent, a rule that I never, ever show it. So if they're my best friend, then they're my best friend, whatever. And the same goes for Mazz. I know we don't take it on stage at all. And it's part of the challenge, really. I
would never choose an actress as my friend anyway. No, I really wouldn't. Other than Gina. And we are best friends, and I don't really socialise with anybody that I work with or particularly. So, you know, you just go in and it becomes a day at work. You know, it sounds terribly spoiled, but it does. It becomes a day at work, and people sort of forget as well that, you know, you have to go in and perform and do as if it were your last performance, whether you've broken up with someone, had a row with someone, had a bereavement, you still have to go in and go through with it. You know, if you have a 9-to-5 job, it's a lot easier to ring in and go, I can't do it tonight. And we actually don't have the luxury of ever not being in the mood. You have to be. And that's where it's, you know.
That's where it's a profession and not just a job, because, you know, and it separates the real pros. We're very, very old school, I think, because, you know, Mum and Dad were in it a long time ago, and we were always taught that. I know a lot of people don't work the same way, but I personally feel terribly guilty if I miss a show. So I'm always here, always trying to do my best, because the people in the audience are seeing it for the first time and are paying just as much money as the opening night.
What do we think about things like Fame Academy and Pop Idol? Because I think if there was Radio Academy where people could come in who had no experience and no talent a lot of the time, but just had a TV series to get them on stage, I think that would frustrate me. How do you feel as people who have learnt your trade, gone to college and are now doing it, and then there are people who are kind of jumping just because they've been on a TV show?
Furious! No, I'm kidding. It is very frustrating sometimes. I don't think you mind so much if they really blow you away, then you think good luck to you, but there's just too much of it. And I know that we're not the only people that are really well trained, you know, paid a lot of money to learn, and also spent a lot of time learning our job and getting experience. And we're still waiting in a way, and then, you know, they pop out of nowhere. So it can be frustrating, but I don't think anyone minds if they really are fantastic. The trouble is the quality is really poor now. I think we've pretty much scraped the bottom of the barrel now, and so I think that's where it's going wrong.
I wouldn't trade though for the world. I kid you not, I wouldn't. If I got in front of Pete Waterman and I sang a song, I would say, thank you, I am not coming to London. I know he used to be able to produce sensational songs, but to say to these people, you're better than Whitney Houston. I mean, is he having... He must be out of his mind.
I wonder how much of it's parody, though, just for the show, and how much he's trying to just get ratings, because I don't believe he believes everything he says. I think that's foolish, because at the end of the day, people will believe what you say.
But, you know, they're giving these kids real false dreams and false hopes, and even if they do make it, the outcome, generally speaking, is exactly the same as the people that get rejected right at the beginning.
I totally agree. A good point. Very well made. Now, listen, before we go, how's your dad, by the way?
Daddy's lovely. He's very good, actually. He's very happy because his eldest daughter is getting married.
Well, let me talk about this. I mean, you must be breaking so many hearts of people you've worked with and stuff. Who are you marrying, first of all? Do we know him?
No, you don't.
It's not Julian Clary, is it?
No, he's an armed policeman, which, yes, he's amazing and so totally removed from the business. I love it. I really enjoy that.
It is a problem with some people in the business that they only can talk about the business, whether it be the radio business or TV, and they're a bit boring. Is that why you've deliberately gone for another occupation, another facet to your life that can take you in a different social group?
It may make me sound terribly unpopular, but yes. I love what actors do, but I don't want to talk about show business every single day, every single week. No, it would bore me. I like to hear how many people he's killed in a day. That sort of thing brightens my world.
You're a wonderful optimist, aren't you? It's the only thing that's keeping us going today, really, isn't it?
If it wasn't for me, this would be a very boring interview, because you'd be sat talking to yourself. And, you know, we already know all the answers.
Well, I'm incredibly boring as well, so they wouldn't want to hear that for a start. When are you getting married then? When is the date?
We think sometime next autumn, hopefully.
And weren't you in a showbiz magazine or something, your dad was telling me?
Oh, yeah. Musical Stages I was in. Front cover, I'll have you know. But I was also in Cosmopolitan. They did a colour spread of Gary and I, who's my fiancé.
Did you have all your clothes on?
Unfortunately, yes, I did. But I can arrange a private viewing for you maybe at some other time, because now I'm out of work, I'll be looking for a bit of spare cash.